Hey, well, it's Huck. And as you can see, I'm wearing the oxygen today. Um, I made a video, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I had hoped, because I was feeling a little better that day, I was hoping maybe I'd be able to get up a video, shortly thereafter. I was even planning on doing a largely political video, something that I haven't done in a very long time, unfortunately. Um, At any rate, my health has kind of gone downhill since that video, to the point where I had a couple of really difficult days. Um, and so I got a prescription of some, what I call a Prednisone Regiment. I've had quite a few of those over the last 6 or 9 months, going back to like Halloween or so. But I've been trying to avoid, that step. I've been taking a daily dose, which I think in January or so was increased from 5 milligrams to 10 daily. And anyway, so I had my doctor prescribe me a regimen where I'm taking 40 milligrams a day for 4 days, and this is now the fourth day that I've been on that. So beginning tonight, I will start 30 milligrams for 24 hours for 4 days, and then taper that down to 20 milligrams for 4 days, and finally down to my maintenance level of 10. And normally, when I'm on this elevated level of prednisone, it does a couple of things. Reduces a lot of the inflammation, helps me to breathe a little better, certainly gives me more energy. And while I can testify that it has given me somewhat more energy, it's not as much as I remember having in the past, and I've not felt as well. And my breathing has not improved significantly. I'm able to go from where I was 4 days ago, which was barely able to function, to at least, do what I absolutely have to do. But just getting up and preparing a meal, the most basic meal, is taxing my ability to stay on my feet for, a minute or two before I have to sit down. And that's just standing at the counter, peeling a potato or, stirring something on the stove. So I guess what I'm trying to say is my lung function is decreased dramatically, and nothing seems to be improving it a whole lot. Now, on the plus side, I haven't been to the hospital due to my condition in a very long time. In fact, the last time I went to the hospital wasn't for my lungs. It was because of I was having what I thought was angina. The catheter test that I took about 2 months ago now has seems to indicate that I wasn't having angina at all. They didn't really find anything significantly wrong with my arteries or as far as blockage. Nothing structurally wrong with my heart or its valves as far as they could tell. So a lot of indication that what I have been experiencing and continue to experience from time to time is heartburn. And again, probably because every time I eat anything, I immediately tire and need to lay down. And all of that food in my stomach being probably compressed by the fact that my lungs are enlarged and largely, corrupted, is backing up, contents of my stomach up into my esophagus, leading to the heartburn. And so, on the bright side, it hasn't gotten to the point where it's a major issue. I take a Tums or two, maybe a little Melanta, and it goes away. So it's not been anything I can't handle and it's not not something that I'm as concerned about as I am with the breathing. Now, I have a day of evaluations to go to. I've got a couple of weeks here to recover. June 7th, I go in for a slew of mostly repeat tests. I'm going to do a full lung function test when I first get up there. That's where they have you blow into these tubes or whatever, and they measure your lung function. And it's pretty grueling for someone who has as little lung capacity as I do. You have to blow into this thing for, like, they're trying to get you to expel every, bit of wind, in your lungs. So they're asking you to exhale for, 45 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, or whatever. And of course, I'm just about ready to pass out because I don't have that much to blow out. And you have to repeat this like 20 times or more. It is not easy for me to do, and it's exhausting. The last time I underwent this test, I think I measured it about 18.5% lung function of what a normal person would have. So extremely low. I am certain, based on, how I've been doing the last few months, that it's going to be much less now. So I don't know what to expect. Now, immediately after that, I have two other things. I've got to do a walking test, where they basically have you try to walk for 6 minutes. Now, the last time I did it, I managed to walk the whole 6 minutes. I don't know how much distance I covered, but they keep urging you to, keep going. And I was really huffing and puffing there at the end, but I did manage it. I won't be able to do that now. In fact, when I do my walking at my pulmonary rehab exercises, I went in last week, I think it was Tuesday, and I was only able to walk like 400 feet, and probably, less than the full 6 minutes. And that was using what they call a rollator, one of those walking things that have like wheels on them and brakes and a little seat. They call that a rollator, but it's like a walker, but a little fancier. And of course, I'm doing this with an oxygen, a little portable oxygen thing, which I can put on the seat on that rollator. When I do this at the hospital, the walking test, at least the last time I did it, I didn't have any such walker or rollator. I had to do it on my feet, and it was up and down this long hallway. And as far as the oxygen is concerned, I didn't use a portable oxygen concentrator. They gave me a tank. It's one of those, personal tanks. It's about 3 foot high, and sits on a little dolly with wheels, and you pull it. If you ever watched the old TV series Bates Motel, the girl on that show that had the cystic fibrosis or whatever lung disease that she had, she was always carting this thing around. So anyway, so I suspect that's what they're going to have me do. And frankly, I don't know. On a good day, I can probably do, I'm going to say 400 or 500 feet. I haven't had a good day here in a week. So, like I say, I've got some time to recover, but these first 4 days on the prednisone, I don't know. We'll see how I do. At any rate, so that's what's going on health-wise. Not a good outlook, I'm afraid. It's looking to me like, everyone knows that what I have, this COPD, is a progressive illness. And when you get to the point, where it's as advanced as mine has been, every time you have any kind of a setback at all, you never get back to where you were. And so there's a general decline each time you have in exacerbation, and I've had quite a few of them. It seems this one that I suffered most recently around Thanksgiving or Halloween or so, just never really fully recovered. And so I have had some better days, and I've had much, much worse days. And lately it's been a string of much, much worse days here. So, and there's not really a whole lot they can do about it, to be honest with you. A certain amount of my lung is so bad now that it can't be repaired. And so, I'm living with the consequences. So it's looking like I really need to get this evaluation completed and be put on this transplant list and hopefully prioritized in hopes that a donor will become available to me before the end of the year, is what I'm thinking. Because if I am like this and have to go through another Ohio winter, at the very least, I'm thinking I won't be able to function on my own. So far, I've been somewhat self-reliant in that I live on my own, and there are things I can't do anymore. And I have a friend, Dustin, who comes over generally once a week and helps me with those things. Things like cutting my grass and helping me change my bed, lately helping me do my laundry, and other things that have just become too difficult for me. It's become important for him to be here to help me take the scooter out of the car trunk, put it together, and put it back in the car trunk. It's just one of the reasons why I need him to come with me every time I go, Cleveland, to the hospital, because I need to use the scooter to get around. And I am so, grateful really doesn't really explain my gratitude. Just as, it doesn't come anywhere close to showing my appreciation for all the financial help that I've continued to receive during this time. And of course, as everybody knows, everything has gone up in price. So inflation has been a real issue here, as I know it is, well, really probably worldwide, but significantly in this country. Gas prices are up, food prices are up. Very few things haven't been affected. I see it in even, things like my utility bills. And things were a little tight before. I've been able to save a little money, save up, and I think I mentioned about a couple of months ago that I have been saving for a very long time to finally get a couple of cemetery plots. Now, I got one for my mom and dad and one for me, so I paid for those, and I paid for my mom and dad's more recently for their interment. Now I haven't had it done yet. I've still got their ashes here at home, and I'm waiting for. I'm going to have to set a date here in the next couple of weeks, and bring my friend Dud over here to help me get the ashes to the cemetery and have that done. I haven't really looked at headstones yet, and that's something that I'm going to probably have to deal with as well. But right now, I've not been able to put any money away because of the increase in prices and everything. It's costing me, about $50 some to fill my tank, and it's groceries in some cases. I don't know. Some things seem to be like almost doubled in price, or I don't know. Maybe it just seems that way. And anyway, the prices are much higher than they were. So I've been trying to really, be a little bit more careful about what I buy. Unfortunately, a lot of the cheaper foods are not healthy for me to eat. I can't eat things like hot dogs and bologna and a lot of things that are cheaper or whatever that frankly, I like. I will eat them, but my body doesn't approve of them anymore. They have a adverse effect on my breathing. So anyway, so I guess I'm saying that I've been, unfortunately, I've been more aware just how fortunate I've been through all of this, to have the kind of friends and the kind of help that I've received here. And it has taken a lot of, a lot of the pressure and worry about those types of things, financial things, and just how am I going to get this done? How am I going to have socks to wear? Not having to worry about those things and be able to concentrate on my health, and that has been, like I said, there's just not any words to express how very, very fortunate I feel to have such friends and have such help. And I can't say it enough, but thank you. And thank you also to all of you who have kept me in your thoughts. I'm trying to press forward. I'm trying to get stronger every day. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to keep working towards, what I can do. And I plan on fighting to the very last minute of every last day. And hope that things work out. And so that's where I'm at right now. Fortunately, I've got some TV to watch. Lately, I've been watching on a show on a network called Tubi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Tubi, Tubi. It's a free network. I have a smart TV that I have in my bedroom, and I have a Roku TV in my living room. And they both get, some of the same networks. So I pay for one streaming service, which is Netflix. And I have, there are other streaming networks that I get that are free. And one of them is Tubi, or at least that's what I'm going to call it. And there's one show on there. They have a lot of like old 60s and 70s shows. Things like, I don't know, Beretta, the Doris Day Show. I don't know, a whole bunch of these things. Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, which is really hilarious. Always like that show. But they have a show, I think, originally aired like 1976 to 1980 or 81, something like that. And it starred a very, very good actress, Sada Thompson, along with Matthew Broderick's father, James Broderick. Starred Gary Frank, who's one of the children, older, I think he's like 16, 17 in the show. Christy McNichol is in this show. And Meredith Baxter Burney, although she wasn't in the first, pilot or whatever, but she was in they recast that part as the oldest daughter. Anyway, the show is called Family. It was a particular favorite of the critics back then, but it never really got great ratings. Won a number of Emmy Awards. Sada Thompson, I think, won as the mom. Christy McNichol, I think, won an Emmy one season as the youngest daughter. And I remember, at the time, now this was on, I would have probably been about 19, 20 years old when this show first came on the air. And I remember enjoying the show at that time. I didn't watch every episode, because at that age you don't really get tied to TV. There are things to do, and you're out with your friends and doing things, and I was working. But I watched it when I got the opportunity. So I did watch it, regularly. But I've been taking in episodes of that. And I just learned there's a Facebook group about that show. And I learned on there this week that they're going to be taking that show off of the network. They're not going to renew it. And I think it ends at the end of this month, that quickly. So I've got about, I don't know what that is, 2 weeks or so. And I've been watching it from the beginning. They've got every episode. So over the last 6 months or so, I've managed to watch about roughly half of the episodes. Some of them somewhere in the middle of season 3 or something like that. And I think there's 5 full seasons. And now there's not enough time for me to watch every episode before it comes off the air. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more selective of which episodes I'm going to watch to finish out that season. A couple of other things that I've been watching lately is, let's see, well, of course, Ozark. I'm trying to finish up Ozark. But I've been watching that with my friend Dustin. So when he comes over, we watch it together. So I think we've got 2 final episodes to watch. I think we have 2 episodes left, if I'm not mistaken, to finish the series. And temporarily, I had HBO. A friend of mine gave me their password or something for HBO Max, and before he ended his account, and so I used that to watch a show that he recommended. It was very good. It was Mayor of Easttown was the name of that show. Really didn't see anything else on HBO Max during the time I had it that I felt compelled to watch, but that was certainly worthwhile. Other than that, I've been binge watching Seinfeld on Netflix. I'm well into season 6 or 7 now. I think there's 9 seasons altogether, and it's one of those rare shows like Frasier that I can sit and watch episodes back to back to back when I'm bored, and it's hard for me to watch more than 2 episodes of anything, but maybe because they're a half hour long rather than an hour, and I don't know, something about that show. I don't remember ever like really watching it regularly when it was on TV. I mean, I'd catch it once in a while, but I really have been enjoying it. It's amazing how they have such little they're all very self-centered characters. That's one of the things about the show that stands out to me is how unempathetic they are, toward others. And they're very egocentric characters, which is a lot of the humor of that show in the end. But for some reason on that show it works. Anyway, so I guess I've been a little bit of in a nostalgic mood because I have enjoyed the family episodes to some extent. But again, now I'm going to have to get selective and kind of skip through the remaining 30-some episodes. I think that I've got there, probably close to 50 episodes. I can't possibly watch them in 14 days, so I don't know, because I'll be lucky if I can watch maybe 1 episode a day, if that. So we'll see. Anyway, politically, I'll tell you, the Republicans are just completely devoid of any real policy agenda. They don't anything to keep the rich in power, period, and to keep them, to keep themselves in power and to keep the rich happy and keep their tax breaks coming, because that's where they get their money. The fact is, while we are dealing with inflation, while we're dealing with all kinds of, issues, about the only thing the Republican Party has kind of stood up for on an agenda is they have kind of backed America's efforts against Ukraine, against Russia, in their war with Ukraine. On just about every other front, the Republicans have been duplicitous at best and absolutely worthless in working against America's best interest at worst. Case in point, they have been using every avenue at their disposal to blame America's difficulties. Inflation, the high price of gas and food and medicine, all on the Biden administration. And yet every opportunity they have to address those issues, like a recent vote on going after gas companies for for profit gouging, they vote against any efforts to stop it. Same thing with this baby formula crisis. A lot of that has been due to the fact that the FDA has not had the power to crack down on companies that are not meeting, certain standards. And so, as I understand it, I think there's like 3 or 4 manufacturers of infant formula. And one of the major manufacturers has been guilty of having substandard, safe manufacturing process. And so they have had some bacteria run wild, and it's made it for an unsafe product. And the FDA, because it's kind of like a lot of like the FEC agency, which is half Republican, half Democrat, the Republicans won't do anything to enforce anything. And so nothing gets done. So this plant had to shut down their operation. And Trump, when he was in office, I understand, made it difficult to nearly impossible to import infant formula, for instance, from Canada. Is America first? Well, so we could have alleviated the problem by being able to import formula. So Biden has taken steps to address all those things. Republicans have voted 100% practically against, resolving these issues. And again, so on the one hand, on the one side of their mouth, they're blaming Biden because it's good politics, but on the other side, they don't want to solve anything because they'd rather run against the Democrats. So the Republicans have not been a party of solutions for a very long time. As you'll recall, during the Trump administration, they passed basically one bill, and that was a tax breaks that went primarily to billionaires and millionaires. And other than that, they really didn't accomplish anything on a legislative front at all, because it's just not part of who they are. So I hope we will remember all of that in these midterm elections. It's going to be very important that we elect Democrats to every office that we possibly can. Anyway, I'm running out of time here. I wanted to catch up with what's been going on. Like I said, I don't want you to worry too much about me. I've been somewhat in decline, but I'm determined to see this through and to work as hard as I can to get better. And, and in the end, that's all you can do. So I thank you for watching. I thank you for caring. And I'll see you again real soon.